up, everybody. I need to tell you about what I just watched on First Take, because the Los Angeles Lakers segment was absolutely insane today. Stephen A. Smith and the crew were going back and forth about potential trade targets for the Lakers, and the conversation got heated in the best possible way. You know how First Take gets when they're talking about the Lakers. The passion comes out, the hot takes start flying, and today was no exception. The name that dominated the entire discussion, the player that had everyone on the panel debating intensely, was Zack LaVine from the Chicago Bulls. And let me tell you, the analysis they did on why this move could actually happen and why it makes so much sense for both sides had me completely locked in from start to finish. So let me break down everything that went down on the show, because there's a ton of information to unpack here. First Take opened the Lakers segment by acknowledging the obvious. This team needs help. They have Luka Doncic, they have LeBron James, they have Anthony Davis when healthy, but the roster around them isn't good enough to compete for a championship. The analysts talked about how the Lakers need to make trades to properly upgrade this roster before the deadline, and that's when the conversation shifted to who might actually be available and who would fit what the Lakers need. Hey, what's up, everyone? Real quick before we get into everything. That like button is literally what determines if this reaches hundreds or thousands of fans. Takes 1 second, but makes a huge impact on the channel's growth. Just smash that like button right now. It's the easiest thing you can do, but honestly, the biggest way to support this content. Every single like pushes this further, so hit it now. Stephen A. Smith was the first one to bring up Zach LaVine, and he did it with that signature Stephen A. energy that we all know and love. He talked about how LaVine has been stuck on mediocre Bulls teams for years, how he's wasting his prime on a franchise that's going nowhere, and how he reportedly wants out of Chicago badly. But here's the part that really caught everyone's attention. Stephen A. said that LaVine has specifically expressed interest in playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. This isn't just speculation or wishful thinking from Lakers fans. This is coming from actual reports and sources close to the situation. The First Take analysts spent a lot of time discussing LaVine's connection to Los Angeles, and it's actually pretty compelling. LaVine was born and raised in California. He played college basketball at UCLA, right there in Los Angeles. This is his hometown, his roots are here, and playing for the Lakers would be a dream come true for him personally. One of the analysts made the point that when a player has that kind of emotional connection to a franchise and a city, it can make all the difference in terms of how hard they play, how committed they are, and how well they fit into the team culture. LaVine wouldn't just be coming to the Lakers for a paycheck, he'd be coming home. The basketball fit was discussed extensively, and this is where the First Take crew really got into the weeds of why LaVine makes sense for the Lakers. The first point they made was about the Lakers' desperate need for scoring and shot creation. Right now, the team relies heavily on Luka and LeBron to create offense. When those two guys are being defended heavily, or when they need a rest, the offense can completely stall because there's no one else who can consistently create their own shot. LaVine would immediately solve that problem. Stephen A. Smith pulled up LaVine's career numbers to illustrate his point, and the stats are impressive. LaVine has career averages well above 20 points per game in multiple seasons. He's been an all-star. He's shown he can score at all three levels, whether it's pulling up from three off the dribble, getting to the rim with his elite athleticism, or knocking down mid-range jumpers. That kind of versatile scoring is exactly what the Lakers need to complement what they already have. One analyst made a really interesting point about how LaVine's skill set would fit alongside LeBron James specifically. He talked about how LeBron has always been at his best when he has shooters around him who can space the floor and knock down open threes. LaVine is absolutely that type of player. He's a legitimate three-point threat who commands defensive attention. And when LeBron drives and kicks out to an open LaVine, that's basically guaranteed points. The synergy there could be incredible. The discussion then shifted to how LaVine would work alongside Luka Doncic, which is equally important. The analysts talked about how both Luka and LaVine are ball-dominant players who like to have the ball in their hand. Some people might see that as a potential conflict, but the First Take crew argued that it's actually a strength. Having two guys who can create their own offense means the defense can never relax. You can stagger their minutes, so one of them is always on the floor creating. You can run actions where either one of them can be the primary option depending on the matchup. The versatility in offensive options would make the Lakers incredibly difficult to game plan against. Anthony Davis's role in making a LaVine acquisition work was also discussed. One of the analysts made the point that AD's presence on defense allows the Lakers to get away with having a player whose defense is sometimes questioned. LaVine has never been known as an elite defender. That's fair criticism. But if you have Anthony Davis anchoring the defense, protecting the rim, and cleaning up mistakes, LaVine's defensive limitations become much less impactful. He doesn't have to be a lockdown defender when AD is back there erasing everything. The Clutch Sports connection was brought up as a potential factor in making this trade happen. LaVine is represented by Clutch Sports, which is the same agency that represents LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Stephen A. Smith pointed out that this connection could facilitate negotiations and create mutual interest in getting a deal done. When players share the same agency, there's already a level of communication and trust that can make complex trades easier to execute. The agency has a vested interest in getting LaVine to a better situation. And what better situation is there than playing alongside two of their other top clients? The First Take panel also addressed the potential complications of a LaVine trade, because you can't have a complete conversation without acknowledging the challenges. The biggest issue is LaVine's contract. He's making significant money, and fitting his salary under the Lakers' cap would require moving multiple pieces. The analysts discussed various trade scenarios, including the possibility of sending out players like Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, and others to make the salaries work. Stephen A. argued that the Lakers should be willing to sacrifice depth to acquire a player of LaVine's caliber. He made the point that in the NBA, talent wins. Having another legitimate star alongside Luka, LeBron, and AD would be worth giving up multiple role players. You can always find replacement-level guys to fill out the roster, but elite scorers like LaVine don't become available very often. When you have the chance to get one, you take it. The injury concerns with LaVine were also discussed, and the analysts were honest about the risks involved. LaVine has dealt with knee issues in the past, and there are always questions about his long-term durability. He's coming off periods where he's missed significant time due to injury. But the counter-argument that was made is that when healthy, LaVine is still one of the most talented scorers in the league. The potential reward outweighs the risk, especially for a Lakers team that's trying to maximize whatever championship window they have with LeBron. One fascinating aspect of the discussion was about LaVine's motivation and how coming to the Lakers could reinvigorate his career. He's been stuck on losing teams in Chicago for years. He's never made it past the first round of the playoffs. He's 29 years old and watching his prime slip away on a franchise that's going nowhere. Coming to Los Angeles, playing for the most storied franchise in NBA history, competing for championships alongside LeBron James and Luka Doncic. That could light a fire under LaVine that we've never seen before. Sometimes players need a change of scenery to reach their full potential, and LaVine might be exactly that type of player. The analysts talked about the entertainment value of having LaVine on the Lakers as well. This is a player who won back-to-back slam dunk contests. He's one of the most athletic and exciting players in the league when he's at his best. Imagine LaVine throwing down dunks at Crypto.com Arena. Imagine the highlight plays alongside LeBron and Luka. Imagine the energy that would bring to the building every night. The Lakers have always been about entertainment and star power, and LaVine absolutely fits that brand. Stephen A. Smith made a passionate argument about the Lakers' obligation to be aggressive. He talked about how LeBron is 40 years old and doesn't have many years left. He talked about how Luka is in his prime right now and wants to win championships immediately. He talked about how standing pat and hoping for the best isn't a strategy for a franchise with the Lakers' expectations. You have to make bold moves. You have to take calculated risks. And LaVine represents exactly that type of move. The Chicago Bulls' perspective was also discussed. The Bulls are clearly in